So another week of Tigers baseball is officially come and gone as we officially end the month of May and start heading into the month of June. Of course, the last week of May for the Tigers saw the Tigers sweep the San Francisco Giants, getting a big series win after struggling last week. Like every series loss the Tigers have not lost back-to-back series this season so far. Every time they lost a series, they bounce right back and win another. And in this one, they bounce right back and sweep the San Francisco Giants. Big 3 games there. You know, it wasn't really any high-scoring games. Like, two of those wins were 3-1 games, and the last one being a 4-3 game. It was mainly just an absolute great mid-pitching masterclass overall. Like, Tigers pitching on its game. And then we get our next big series against the Kansas City Royals, as the Royals are still trying to fight their way into the wild card. As, yeah, we're officially getting the month of June, which means pretty soon we're going to be starting looking at the playoff picture, see who's going to be in, and who's going to be out, and who's going to be relegated straight to the MLB draft lottery. Well, we already know the White Sox and the Rockies are going to be in the draft lottery. Especially the Rockies, dear fucking God. The Rockies are fucking terrible this year. We all thought the White Sox were bad this year. Bitch, the Rockies might fucking break the White Sox record in one fucking season for most losses of the year. Dear God. But yeah, anyway, back on topic though for the Royals. The only offense that came in this series against the Royals came in the very first game, with the Tigers winning it 7-5 over Kansas City. And then after that, the final 2 games of the series against Kansas City would both be 1-0 games. Kansas City would win one 1-0 game. The Tigers would win the other 1-0 game. I mean, that's pretty rare to see 2 games in the series end in 1-0 scores. That's very hard to do. Like, that is very rare. That almost never happens. But yeah, honestly, in terms of that 1-0 loss, I'll be honest, I'd rather get blown the fuck out and lose like 11-0, 12-0, or 12-1 or some shit like that than lose 1-0. Losing 1-0 is more heartbreaking and usually makes people more pissed off than just getting blown the fuck out. Because it's a heartbreaking way to lose when you lose 1-0, especially when the pitching is on its A game and everybody's on their game. It's just one mistake costs you, especially when the offense is having an off day. But the second game, like the pitching, absolutely staying at peak. As Tigers are proving they have one of the best bullpens and one of the best pitching cores in the league so far. I think it's pretty evident in that when they have the best league record in the league at now 39-21. As, yeah, after the series against Kansas City, and taking 2 out of 3, we are now officially 60 games down in the MLB season. 60 down, 102 to go, as we now enter the month of June, which now means we enter the summer stretch. And this means that baseball is going to slowly start becoming the only sport we have left out of the Big Four, since we're now entering the Stanley Cup Finals this week and the MLB and NBA Finals this week. I mean, both finals for those are pretty good. I mean, NHL, we have a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Final for the second year in a row, which is pretty rare to see the same 2 teams in the finals 2 years in a row. I mean, the last time we had a rematch in the finals 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup was those 2 years of Detroit versus Pittsburgh in 2008 and 2009. And, of course, for the NBA Finals, we have Indiana versus Oklahoma City, which that's going to be a pretty interesting finals for sure. We're pretty much in that finals, regardless of who wins, someone's guaranteed their first championship. Although, technically, Oklahoma City does have a championship in their history, but that was when they were still in Seattle, so that doesn't really count because they haven't won one in Oklahoma City yet since relocating from Seattle. But anyway, the Tigers, though, they're really looking really good. I mean, the one question I think is coming to mind with them now at 39-21 and the best record in baseball right now is this Tigers team as good as the 1984 World Series squad the last time they won a championship? I mean, I think it's a little too early to say. I mean, usually, I think after 50, 60 games, I think it's very possible. I mean, we're now 50, 60 games in the season. I mean, anybody can look hot or cold at any given point here, but I think usually the first 50, 60 games, you get a rough eye. I think after the first 50, 60 games, I think you get a very good rough idea of who the top teams are and who's going to be the contenders and who's going to be the pretenders. I mean, it's very hard to say. I mean, look at last year. I mean, last year at this point, the Tigers looked like dog shit last year, and they weren't really good until the last month of the year. So, hey, anything's possible. Like I said, it's baseball. It's a very long season. Anybody can get hot or cold at any given point, and there's still 102 games left for everything to change. But Tigers looking really good so far, and for the Tigers' first series at first week of June, it's going to be all shit-toilet this week. Because the Tigers get 2 shit-toilet teams in 1 week. They first get another date with the White Sox, and then they battle currently the best team in the NL in the White Sox. Wait a minute, the White Sox are not the White Sox, I mean the Cubs? The Cubs are the fucking top team in the NL right now? Wait a minute, I thought everyone said the NL Central was pathetic and complete dog shit. Guess that must be a fucking lie unless Chicago's gonna crash and burn pretty bad. So yeah, in other words, this entire week is gonna be a shit-toilet war week for everybody. Because it's 2 Chicago teams for the price of 1. Which means this week the belts to ass are gonna be twice as brutal this week. Because what's better than beating the shit out of 1 Chicago team? How about beating the shit out of 2 of them? Because if you're from Detroit, you've always been known to hate Chicago. Because in Detroit, it's always been, fuck shit-toilet. Especially the Bears, fuck them too. The Pistons-Bulls rivalry hasn't been relevant in decades. Let's be fucking honest on that one. Because both teams have been pretty dog water for a long time. And Wayne's Blackhawks, that rivalry's been pretty dead for a while too. But yeah, Tigers, they get a chance to beat on all next week. They get the chance to beat up on all the shit-toilet teams next week. Looking forward to this week. But yeah, another solo week for the Tigers, 39-21, still the best team in baseball right now. I don't know who, but after 60 games, it's pretty clear somebody let the Tigers get hot again. Let's take that momentum straight to Chicago this week, and let's continue that charge up the standings. And have the Tigers continue their charge to be at the head of the table. I'm out.